Hey there, it's JohnBerry555, and it's time to review the 5th episode of the new Willow series on DisneyPlus, the episode being called Wildwoods. So, this episode obviously picks up with a lot of the character dynamics that we left off in the previous episode. And a couple of things that I was expecting have definitely been from. One, Prince Kasdan. Yeah, he definitely has a crush on Willow. Who knows how that's going to end up? Who knows? But it is something interesting that I should take a note. But we also, a clue in this episode is with Kit and... what's her name? Where did I leave that piece of paper where I put all the characters' names on? Okay, I found... well, this is the characters, not my handwritten list. Oh well. But anyhow... so the characters I was talking about was Kit and Jade. They finally, by the end of this episode, confessed their feelings for each other. So like all the way back in episode 1, we knew they had feelings for each other, but neither one of them actually said it out loud. But come on, dancing together, literally during the point where Kit's being an arranged marriage is being discussed for Kit, and that her and Kit and Jade are dancing with each other in sight of the prince that Kit has been betrothed to form a political alliance. Come on, we knew, like, you don't dance with your best friend during an event like that. No. Yeah, we all knew. Everyone knew. But the only thing is, neither one of them had actually said it to each other, but both of them knew it. But in many ways, the way it is addressed though is definitely very much in the vein of young adult novel. You know, both of them both of them did. I believe, if I remember correctly, I know one of them did, but I think both of them both of them expressed fear that if they said it, the other one was going to reject them. Like, that is such a common trope in young adult novels that makes sense in a series that, a fantasy series kind of intended for young adults, would have those same themes coming right up. So at least we haven't gotten yet the mistaken love confession yet. It's gonna happen, I guarantee you. But at least it hasn't happened yet. And mistaken, like, one character has misread another character's intentions. That hasn't happened yet. But if it doesn't happen, yeah, I'll be kind of surprised. But you know what? I should ask, besides those character relationships and the romantic relationships, we also explore regular relationships. I mean, that is an important thing. And actually, to kind of address that, we have to go all the way back to this opening of the episode, which this is my least favorite opening scene. Mainly due to the fact that it just didn't feel right. I don't mind being chased by the minions of the main antagonist. I presume that's who they're going to end up being. I forget the names of what they called them. I think it began for G or something. But regardless, like that, I don't mind. But with the accompanying music, it just didn't fit. It just did not fit for me. It felt too modern. Now, granted, I like a good chase sequence and all that. I mean, I do watch plenty of Scooby-Doo. But like, even the choice of music, I don't even think would have fit a Scooby-Doo episode. So I think just overall, this is the first time where the choice of music outside the end credits has bugged me. It's just something I wish they would have approached a bit differently, gone with more fantastical music rather than pop music. That's the big problem. Like, the opening credits are normally always good. Most of the other music has been spectacular, but the music that they just chose it just did not fit. It just didn't fit the vibe of everything else. Well, it does fit the vibe of the end credits, but yeah. But you know what? Overall, that is my only complaint. My only complaint is I feel like they could have chosen better chase music. So be it. I mean, it's a minor complaint, and what I thought was overall a pretty good episode. I don't think it's my favorite. I still think episode 4 is my favorite so far. That could change by the end of the series. But that's kind of the setup. And so to get away from the bad guys, they go into the Wildwoods. I think I said that right. And they come across the Bone Reavers. Oh, I think I got that right. So these are the basically the people who formed the army that in Willow, the film, that served Queen Balmodra. And of course, apparently we learned that they pledged themselves to her because they claimed. I mean, it's also very possible that these people now, those are most of them are, they were brought in as children and all that because their parents, but claim that they were been the outcasts, former slaves of Geroge or things like that. And it's possible that they're telling the truth. It's not uncommon for, especially in fantasy, for the villain to take advantage of the downtrodden's misfortune to get them to support them. I mean, you even do see that with real tyrants who try to convince the downtrodden to support them by saying, hey, I'm going to uplift you, so that way, kind of take advantage of their situation, which is something I would not put past Queen Balmodra to have, taken advantage of the downtrodden, the outcasts, the slaves, taking advantage of the situation for her own benefit and now how well she treated them, I don't know, but it is a complicating factor that was not addressed at all in the original film, and I still am a bit like, there's some piece of the puzzle missing. What you told yourself, there's always that. But there's also the thing is, sometimes they are telling the truth. And very likely that they could be or the truth as they know it. Because, sometimes the best way to convince someone to help you is to tell them, hey, if you don't help me, you'll be slaves to the other people. That does happen a lot. I could probably think of a good historical example. Just look at World War I propaganda posters. I think enough said there. So there's always going to be, or even this Cold War propaganda. So you always have that thing, well, the characters may be telling the truth as they know it, but their truth could have been influenced by things like propaganda, what their parents have told them. It's very likely. And actually, with all that, apparently, we learned that Jade's father was actually the general who led the Bone Reavers back in the original film, that guy. So, if that's true, which is likely because the current leader of the Bone Reavers has the same tattoo on the back of her neck that Jade has. And the leader claims that she is the eldest daughter of that general, and Jade is the youngest. But that also does help them make friends with them, and they have a party, and apparently there's a food that makes it easier for people to tell the truth. That's actually one thing that it bugged me, but not bugged me. It bugged me more in the sense of not that thing exists within the universe of Willow, but the fact that the writers thought the only way to get certain character development going is to put them in a situation where they're forced to tell the truth by something they consume rather than coming to that decision for themselves. Especially with Kit and Jade. Like, I feel like that's something like, did they really need to be influenced by an outside force on that? Couldn't their friends have convinced them to be truthful and honest with each other? Which actually that does play in a little bit here. But still, like, I just kind of wish that it was done slightly differently, if you will. It just seemed kind of contrived. And speaking of contrived, they're definitely setting up because often there is some conflict between Willow and Alora, in the sense that Alora is kind of impatient to learn, and also Willow has his, he's trying to be, what's what I'm looking for, conserve his magic, and also doesn't want to rush, and Alora wants her to make sure she can learn her magic successfully, but he does, with that, he does essentially admit that he sees himself as a fraud. And the thing is this is something you gotta go all the way back to the original film. It's kind of the same thing Willow struggled with back then. He doesn't see himself as a hero. He knows people sees himself as a hero, so he plays that, but he doesn't see himself as a hero. And he does say that out, and Loa hears him call himself basically a hack. And that kind of is going to create some character conflict, kind of contrived. But at the same time, a big part of Willow's character from the beginning is he doesn't see himself as the hero. Everyone around him sees himself as a hero, and he's letting them see himself as a hero, but he doesn't see himself as a hero. And it's kind of sad that part of his character he's still not overcome. In the sense that he just doesn't see himself. Essentially, he has low self-esteem. And maybe, hopefully, this journey will actually help him gain his self-esteem and truly see that people don't truly understand why people see him as a hero. He knows why, because he defeated Balmojo, but he's like, that was luck. He dismisses his own success. Sure, maybe it was luck and he didn't do anything fancy, but he was the one who led to Balmojo's defeat. He was the one who essentially he used his sleight of hand trick, and that caused Balmojo to basically, without thinking, touch the spell that she was going to use to banish Alola, and ended up banishing her. All because he made the choice. He made the choice to take a stand. But he, in a way, doesn't see that because he doesn't have the right self-esteem. I kind of hope he does have the self-esteem someday for that. But a few other things just to point out. Jade's kidnapped at the end of the episode. Right as Jade and Kit were confessing their feelings for each other. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Also, the brownies, one of them, only one of them, makes a return here to get them some information. Not tagging along, which makes sense. I mean, basically, I'm 20 years older. I forget which one exactly it was. But the thing is, it's like, you don't need me, you got him, referring to Prince Graydon. Like, okay. So they're saying, so literally, one of the comic relief characters from the last film is saying Prince Graydon is a comic relief character in this show. I really do kind of like that. It's just hilarious. So, but I think that is actually where I'm going to end this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy my review, please be sure to leave a like, upvote, and share. Also, let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of this episode of Willow? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Also, be sure to check out any links down below, and to subscribe to and follow the channel if you haven't yet done so. And as always, have a good day, good night, wherever you are. Have a good one. Bye!